Today we'll be talking about how to double your landscaping profits using automatic mower. My biggest goal here in this YouTube channel is to share everything I know to help you grow your landscaping business. Whether you are just starting or have millions in yearly revenue, you will find a ton of value here. We'll be sharing all the tips, tricks, and insights I've learned over my 16-year career in the business, most of which I've only shared with my most trusted inner circle. We will be discussing the following topics in detail: make your business more easy to scale, how best to manage your fleet of robotic mowers, and help solve your current labor issues. Before we dive into the exact specifics on how to double your landscaping business using automatic mowers, I want to say a huge thank you to you and anyone that hits the like button and leaves a comment down below. How can automatic mowers help solve your labor issues? Robotic mowers allow us to be forward-thinking companies and less reliant on local hires to maintain stability and rearrange and maximize our value. I'm going to help teams understand that the robots are not replacing humans. They're giving us a chance to do more with the team that we have in place. Rather than having humans mindlessly mowing in the middle of a field, we can have these humans focus on detail work. You can train your employees to think of themselves as the bridge between the customer and the technology. When a robot gets stuck on something in the yard, your crew will come out and do the reset for your customer. Reducing mowing as an assigned job allows you to provide different opportunities for that employee, sometimes finding a better fit for them in irrigation, construction projects, or even management. The crew members who are used to doing the detailed landscaping work often are good choices for the reroute and supervisors of robotics, because they know what needs to be handled alongside the robot. Robotic mowers will also create new jobs involving technicians who know how to efficiently manage them and keep them running correctly. These new jobs will give our industry professionals the opportunity to attract people from different labor pools than we have in the past. People want to work for a place where they feel like there's things happening and there's an opportunity to grow and learn in that organization. Instead of just the daily grind, a focus on technology provides new angles from which to see the landscape industry for potential hires. You can't just have old trucks and old mowers. You have to enjoy the people you're working with, and you have to feel like you have a great experience and the opportunity to grow and learn in the organization. It's important to note that the first time I talk to professionals, they always want to know how much a robotic lawnmower costs or a fleet of robotic lawnmowers. What I need to urge you to do is to step back and recognize you need to know how much your fleet of robotic lawnmowers is costing you per acre to mow and how much it's actually then making you in revenue per acre to mow. This is why earlier I said it's important for you to identify how much it costs you to mow per acre. Let me explain. In my model, it costs my company $51 an acre to mow grass. I explain this to some people and they think that's ridiculously high, but I'm a self-performing landscaping company. I don't subcontract any of my snow removal work. It's all in-house self-performed. What does that mean? I have a lot of equipment, I have a lot of overhead, and all of that stuff gets paid for throughout the season. I can only help identify how much money you can make on robotic lawn mowing if we can start with how much money it currently costs you to manually mow. How can you figure this out without spreadsheets or the business knowledge I've already accumulated? If you're a smaller landscaper, what does the truck cost? What does the trailer cost? How much money do you pay your employee? How much money do you pay your employee in taxes? How much windshield time do you spend in that vehicle? What I mean by that is, what's your saturation? If you're a company that's fortunate and you have tons of saturation within 10 square blocks, you might only have 11% of unutilized labor, meaning it's just sitting in the vehicle as it's driving from site to site. On the other hand, my landscape company has a 100-mile radius, and we have 20 to 21% labor burn just to drive from account to account. This gets the thought process going for you. Start to identify those things that you might not normally think about, and you'll come up with a basic cost per acre. Once you come up with that cost per acre, I urge you to go and watch one of your crews cut an acre of grass. Don't just assume it takes them 30 minutes because it took you 30 minutes. It likely takes your employee twice as much time as it took you, the entrepreneur. I also want to urge you to not wait for the new technology to come along that will promise to do everything, because you'll never make the jump. Technology is constantly evolving. So what we need to do right now is use what exists and convert the areas we're currently mowing. So when the customer comes to you and they ask you for the newest automation, they're already used to the automation that existed. It's important not to think a smaller machine is necessarily less effective, as it can mow at a steady pace in on and off usage hours. What does that mean? It might mow for 2 hours, charge for 1. It automatically brings itself to the charging station. So you don't have to worry about it mowing big clumps of turf in one chunk. It's going to constantly mow, much like a sheep grazes in a pasture. Larger mowers are more needed for human operators who need to get through as many yards as possible along a route as quickly as they can to improve profit margin. If you look back on the history of our industry, when labor was cheap, the equipment was small. Smaller equipment gave us manicured looking lawns, but professionals have been getting squeezed over the past couple of decades. Vehicles have increased in costs, trailers have increased, licensing of that equipment has increased, fuel costs have increased, and labor rates have increased. So what manufacturers have done is they've made larger equipment so we could mow more acreage quicker to offset the other price increases. What did this actually do for us? Nothing. We needed larger trucks to pull the larger trailers to fit the larger equipment. And what I'm noticing is we actually get more customer complaints because that larger equipment scalps yards, leaves ruts in yards when it rains. So now, when you look at automation makes us look at things differently. A 29-pound robot is a lot easier to service than a 1,000-pound robot. My perspective is the manufacturers are stuck in their own rut. Here's the question. Do you really want to go rescue a 1,000 or 1,500-pound robotic lawnmower when it stops working? Or would you rather go grab the 29-pound robot that doesn't work because it got stuck on something or got plastic wrapped into the cutting motor? You throw that in the back of your pickup truck and you take another 29-pound robot, you reprogram it, and you make it work in that section while you fix the other one. This is a much easier solution, and this is how you need to think differently about automation. Don't think of adding automated technology to your fleet as a one-time switch, but rather identifying your current pain points and adding automation to cover those pain points first. And then you can broad brush the rest of your accounts later. It's about feathering in the technology over the next 5 to 10 years. It's never a point of saying, okay, tomorrow we're going to fully automate. That will set yourself up for failure. If you set yourself up for success, you will take the accounts that offer you the hardest time getting to them, the most traffic, the most windshield time. You'll automate those accounts first. 3-person crews can be switched to a 2-person crew. And with the robotic mower on the property, what that basically does is it actually helps decrease your fully burdened labor rate because there's much less time behind a windshield with unproductive labor. And moving one laborer from behind the windshield will actually save you money on that fully burdened rate as you bring on more work in the next year. That's more crews you can put out with the same amount of labor. That will really help you generate a lot more revenue. Incorporating a robot will allow you to continue looking for company growth despite attention to developing and training new workers. And it will allow you to pay the humans you currently have a better wage. And it'll make them feel like they're using their brain more than they currently use their back. Your employee's skill set will evolve from people who just sit on a mower to someone who understands that when they prune a plant properly and they pull the weeds properly, they retain that customer. And retain customers for them means steady pay increases and a fulfilling career. It is from all of these reasons and more that I really recommend incorporating automatic mowers into your landscaping business to scale your business faster and increase your revenue and profit margins. And most importantly, be viewed as an industry professional and not just a landscaper. You will provide a greater value to your customer. If you enjoy the ideas that I shared here, please smash that like button, subscribe to our channel, and leave a comment about any follow-up questions you have on this video or even another topic you'd like us to discuss. Again, our biggest goal here is to help you grow your landscaping business. Thanks for tuning in and stay classy, everyone.